Hello folks, looks like today on the show we're going to be getting a door that won't open on a Saturn Vue open without destroying things. This is the second time it's happened, so I would imagine this is a common problem.
And I've done quite a few of these. So first thing you want to try to do, because the door won't open, is move the arm back as you pull up and down on the lock mechanism right here.
Ow, you're a regular Sherlock Holmes with that pulling on the door handle stuff. Come on, show us some more stuff, genius.
If you don't do that, you might not be able to get it to function. You can also try working the door handle as you move up and down on this one, but this one's stiff as
A dick beater? No, actually a real dick beater.
so none of that stuff worked. So now we're going to end up removing the door panel while it's still on the vehicle. Now, I've never tried to do this before, but I think I've got a couple of ideas because I know exactly how these doors panels come off and how they work, or at least I think I know anyways. If we destroy the door panel, or if you do in your situation, you can pick most of these up. I'll serve junkyards, they're absolutely the best to get parts like this because most of the time, most junkyards will not separate this from a complete door. Let's get to tearing this apart.
First thing we need to do with the door panel on and the door not opening.
Now, to take one of these door panels off, even when the door is open, we need to take away this trim right here, and that's going to expose a 10mm bolt up here and a 10mm bolt down here.
Your door handle on yours doesn't look identical to this one. Never fear, it still comes apart the same way.
Here, we also have a little screw, usually down in these on the older models. And on the older models, there's a screw down here, and sometimes one right over here on this edge on the bottom. On the newer models, we have two little screws that go right here. They're actually not screws most of the time. They're just little poppies, so they push inside there. You got to pop the center of them out. Then up underneath here, we have a screw as well.
My videos are not only about how to do something, but why you're doing them is why I include this type of information in them. If you understand what is going on with the door, then it will make it easier for you to get it open and understand why you're doing what I'm doing in my videos to help everyone.
Also, because I work on a lot of these on the older models, there's going to be a little trim tab, and if you look up underneath the door just like this, you'll see it up underneath there, and that'll allow you to pop this out of here.
Now, taking a pick tool, we're going to simply place it on the end and pop it out.
All we have to do is pop it out like that. Don't pull it off right away. Go to the bottom, work your way down it to pull it off correctly so you don't bust it, so you can replace it later if we're successful in getting this door open without destroying everything. And I don't really find it necessary, but I'm going to show you the outside of this because of the simple fact, if you know where the little clips are, and there's one there, one there, one there, you might be more successful in getting it off because you understand how it works. And just like I said, here on the bottom of the door handle, there's a
10mm there.
and one here on the top as well.
Now taking our pick tool again.
Avoid scratching up somebody's car, usually down here on the bottom, apparently underneath the door handle, there's a place
To stick your pick tool so you can pry the little panel away.
Expose another screw. One more 10mm bolt there. We need to remove this trim panel right here. Easy to do when the door is open, but not so much when the door is closed. Lift up on that, and then that exposes a little screw right here. You can try to unplug this, but normally these don't like to unplug very well, and then it breaks the seal around here.
Newer models have a 7mm, older ones have a Phillips screw.
Now to remove the bolts, I just use an extension
With the 10mm socket.
and I'm able to reach all three of them.
This is the part where you're going to be telling yourself, I can't do this. But remember, no matter what it is you think you can or cannot do, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Now, just also think of this. You don't have to pay somebody else to do it for you. Even if you break something, you can't break something that's already broken. I'm going to show you the steps to success.
Okay, hopefully this isn't a waste for making a video. The only fasteners that we're not going to be able to reach are these two right here. Door panel, and we're going to lift up and pull out at the same time. Mostly we need to be able to get our hand up and arm up into this area right here. So hopefully we can get this back far enough, and as long as these little plugs aren't here, we should be okay. But even if they are there, we'll just break them and get new ones at the junkyard anyway. Okay, so to try to do this without destroying it, you're going to grab a rag, put it over the trim right here, we're gonna go behind this area right here, and I'm sure I'm gonna need 2 hands, but I'm gonna try to lift this up over the lock mechanism and hopefully get it to curl up around here to be able to pull out on that door panel without breaking the door handle. That wasn't so hard, it just pulled right back. But I'm gonna get something long like a pry bar and stick it down there and try to pop the clips that are popped into the door. Point, like, I can't do this and all other stuff. Just remember, somebody else is gonna have to do it, so you might as well try to do it. And if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Looking down inside this door, you can see the clip, so I'm gonna go ahead and break it. Now, I basically pulled both of these clips out of this holder. I can't say for certain that I didn't break them, but it don't look like I did. So what I could do is I could glue them back into place, and I've done it on both of them. So now I've got enough room to hopefully roll the window up, check my mechanism, and get my door open so I can disassemble it the rest of the way. Now I've got my window up. I'm gonna peel the foam back right back here, and yes, I was able to get that lock over there, and I really didn't damage it, so visually it's looking pretty good so far. The problem's going to be that I'm assuming the mechanism is broken somehow because I can't lock it or unlock it, so I'm gonna have to peel this way, reach my arm down there. Y'all don't know me, but my name is Clay with the Clay Way, and I work on this Honda powered Tupperware every single day, it seems like, anyway. If this video is helpful, please consider subscribing, clicking the notification, sharing my videos, give me them sweet old thumbs up. And if you have a question that's automotive related and not baby mama drama related, I help folks like you every day for absolutely free on Clay's AC and Auto Repair on the Facebook Messenger. I don't collect information. I don't want any of that stuff. Just remember that no matter what it is in life, if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Don't be the next to them. Be the first to you. Let's finish with this thing that we do. We've got that peeled away. Hopefully with my right arm that I'm using to hold the camera, I can reach back there and flip some swishes and pull some levers. It'd be impossible with the door closed for me to show you what I did, but all I did was I reached back here, my right arm, I found my lock mechanism was stuck and seized. I was able to pry it up. Hopefully my door opens. Yeah, it opens. Careful not to break the cover that you just not to break. Bam! I've got it all open and finished taking off the door panel, undoing the mechanism. It could be that this thing was just frozen, because now it seems to be working, and it did seem like it was locked, but just to be safe, I think I'm going to replace this mechanism no matter what. At the time of making the video, I thought I was going to go out to the junkyard, remove the part that I wanted, and make video of that. But once I got out there, the whole part was almost disassembled. So that's going to be no good. So I'm going to show you on this older model how to get the newer model handle that was inside the newer model Saturn Vue that I was working on in the video, but also show you how to get the older model handle out as well. Like I said, there was a little center screw thing covering up a screw right here, and I popped that out, then I pulled out the Phillips screw out of there, and then all you have to do on this particular model, both new and old models work fairly the same with the exception of how you actually take the handle out and leave the handle in. So on this particular model, which is the older model, we just slide it forward, and it only slides forward a little bit. Then we lift out on the front, then we're able to slide it out more, which allows us to lift up on this little black tab right here, and then you can move that one out of the way. And the same with that tab down there. Once you move this one out and you pop this handle out of here, or this little rod out of here, that will allow you access down to the bottom rod, and you just turn it counterclockwise and pop it out of there. Then you can unplug the electrical connector and remove the complete door handle from this particular model. The newer models, the whole door handle actually just turns sideways and goes up inside the door. Super simple, and I'm sure that if you actually take a chance at it, you'll be able to get that handle in and out, no problems. On both models, up in this area right here, you're either gonna have a square or a circle, and you're gonna pop that circle or that square out of there. And in some cases, I don't think on the older ones there's actually a 7mm bolt in here, but I know on the newer ones there is. Yeah, that doesn't have a screw in there.
In a second, I'm going to show you how I ended up fixing that mechanism that was bad in the door. So on my channel, I pride myself on not replacing parts, but repairing them whenever possible, because that helps us keep food on the table, gas in the tank, even at $5 or $6 a gallon. So I show you things and not only explain to you how to do them, but why you're doing them. I believe that inspires and empowers folks just like you to keep going. Don't be the next to them, be the first to you. Now, regretfully, when I went out to that junkyard to remove this latch mechanism, which I ended up breaking when I took it out, I needed the T30 to remove these 3 screws, and then there was a couple rods connected to it. I hate making portions of videos this way, and I almost never do it. I cannot tell you the last time in 5 years that I ever did this, but unfortunately, I think a description is better than nothing at all. So I'm going to describe to you how to take this out. Just remember, if you start doing it and you pay attention to the steps that I give you in this 1-minute portion of this video, you're going to be successful. That I promise you, because if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. Step 1, raise the window up. Step 2, take this, put your finger on the yellow portion.
Put your finger behind it, pop that open.
Step 3, remove these 3 screws here.
Step 4, bring the latch mechanism out to here, tilt it so you're able to easily remove this rod. It'll stay up inside the door. There's still going to be a rod connected from your latch mechanism, from your lock mechanism, down to the back of the latch mechanism. We'll be able to twist it in such a way by looking at it and looking at its S-curves, pull that out of there. Electrical connector at the very top is a cam lock. Stick a screwdriver in the top of it. You pull it up like this, the connector will come back like this. Sorry I can't show you all that stuff. I'm really pressed for time. I thought I was going to be able to make the video of removing it, but the door trim panel was already halfway gone.
The door handle is going to be connected here by a rod on the older version, and on the newer version, it's just going to be a cable. And with the newer version, you just pull it up like that, and you'll be able to get the cable snuck out very super easy. And on the rod mechanism, you'll just free it away from the door, and you'll see it immediately how it's connected to the door, and you'll be able to take the rod out of the center of this hole. The vehicle was already torn apart, and the little bit of description that I give you actually will make it simpler. Now, I didn't know that, and I didn't know the steps when I took it apart for the first time. I couldn't remember them because it's been years since I did one of these. So that's why I made the video that way and didn't video what I was actually doing the first time. Here's the part where we start fixing the actual mechanism that we took out.
This is the mechanism that I flipped, and it barely works. And the reason you don't have to see up in there is because it's connected to this rod. You're not really going to see a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't realize how many things they can do by just touching them.
So think about how many babies wouldn't exist if you had to see something before you touched it.
I am physically blind, and I do this stuff all the time.
Yes, I even make babies too, wouldn't you?
So you don't always have to visually see it to actually do it. And this thing is so hard to move back and forth.
But I'm going to show you how to get it freed up.
Okay, so we went out to the boneyard and we got this one. We just need to put the linkage back on it. What the? God, I broke the frickin' arm off of it. I guess I should have been careful when I was taking it out, and I wasn't, because I wasn't videoing it. So then I started taking a look at this. This right here is the post that it sits on, and it comes through here. It's a rivet. A pick tool, and I started cleaning underneath the ridge right here. UV blaster, put it on there to lubricate it up. Then I took a pair of vice grips and I ran this rivet around. It will spin independently, this mechanism. It's just a post for this mechanism to ride on. Got it loosened up enough to where it definitely works 100 times better. Lock and unlock. I'm gonna take the vice grips, put them on here, use some compressed air, some more PV blaster, nice and free. So just notice that you can spin this whole thing all the way around with compressed air, and the oil works freely. You're gonna save yourself a lot of time. Shavings are gonna keep coming out. Now, once I got it to where I can spin it all the way around, it should be okay. Now everything's locking and unlocking as it should.
And bam, she's back to working really good. Learn and laugh, that's what I always say down here at the Clayway. Hopefully you found that video interesting, and if it was, please, at nighttime while you're sleeping, turn down the volume, put on one of my sweet Clayway playlists, and let them suckers play while you're sleeping. If you've got a question for me, hit me up on Clay's AC and Auto Repair. on the Facebook Messenger. Don't be the next to them, be the first of you. And if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. God bless. Have the best of days.